Yeah, what up? Based Boxing Basement Triple B. Remember, like, please, to protect the channel. Yeah, so, yeah, I was just thinking, right? I saw this article on Tyan Booth, or this letter. It's quite amusing. I'll read it to you in a minute, man. But yeah, talking about Tyan Booth, I mean, I don't know what's going on in his world, man. You know? He turned on the Triple B. He turned hater. Not informer, he turned hater. Yeah? But he seems he's picking up with his old videos, the old style of edited videos, which I always said he should stick to, and as well as doing the lives. And he's dropped that useless weirdo, fat nonce, child killer, Triple Venables. So that's good news. But weirdly, it was on the orders of his new boss. It looks like Tyan's got a boss now, man. Yeah, he's linked up and he's now owned by Boxing King Nonce, a Fed who helped him get off the charges and get his laptop back so that he can use Tyan to promote his own channel, which is just all very odd. Very odd. Yeah, he basically forced him into a fight he hadn't trained for, he didn't want, and he ultimately quit and walked out of. It got to Boxing King Nonce quite a lot of views, but it's very weird. Why is a Fed running a boxing channel, and also getting someone who he later uses to publicize his own channel and get views? Probably not posse and views, just views, because Boxing King Nonce sounds a little bit fruity. A little bit fruity. Don't you, Boxing King Nonce? So it's all a bit weird, man. I don't know, man. Whatever. He's back to his old style of doing videos, which gets more views. He should just pump out at least 3 a week, plus a couple of lives. Treat it as a full-time job. You make some money. Wouldn't have to work in Amazon. But, yes, regardless, I noticed this funny letter in Boxing News. Now, I stopped reading Boxing News for about a year because they just got so lame. Like, PC, like, I don't know, woke. I hate that expression, but whatever. Hyping women's boxing instead of saying what a load of trash it was, filling in, what do they say? Oh, was it? Taylor Serrano might have saved boxing. No, can you imagine that? Oh, really? As if, man. Yeah, and then having like an LGBT special issue for Pride Month with Orlando Cruz, the Batman story, a BLM issue. I mean, cringe. Oh, we need to highlight the most important 25 black people in boxing. I mean, I don't need that in boxing. There's so many successful black fighters, promoters and so on. You don't need that. It's just nonsense, man. It's just agenda following nonsense. But that's what they had to do now. Why? Because they're now owned. They're owned by Kelsey Media, who's just another funnel for elitist garbage. Yeah, and they went down the toilet, Boxing News, when they ceased to be independent. They used to be proper independent and have offices in Soho. But they'll still have a decent article or two. And like I said, I started reading again because I need to read something in the bath in the morning or whatever when I get up. Because I dropped my tablet in the bath before it stopped working. So I thought I'd go back to reading old school media. And there's some good articles still. You get some occasional decent stuff. But it's always the agenda has to seep in, and it's a bit cringe, man. But anyway, and the letters page is for years it's been awful. I don't know why they choose. Surely they get some better letters than this rubbish. In fact, Sam Stroller actually wrote a letter to the letters page, praising them about doing the Orlando Cruz story, highlighting his own hashtag LGBT boxing fans, and speaking about how we should do more for LGBT people in boxing and welcome. They didn't print it, which really surprised me, to be honest with you. And Sam's very upset. I don't think he wants to buy that magazine anymore. And I think he concluded they're homophobic for not printing the letter, but that's another story, man. I would have been happy to see a Sam Stroller letter. But the letters page is usually terrible, man. It's usually very, very predictable stuff, predictable opinions. Yeah. Or they always choose these letters saying how great Boxing News is. Now, I think that's a bit odd. What's the point of that, man? You know, good publicity should be outside of the magazine because people who are reading the Let's page have already bought the magazine. Do you not get that? Yeah? Publicity is to drive sales. And a letter inside the magazine praising the very same publication in which the letter appears is pointless and a waste of space to readers. Okay, so get that. Anyway, but in between that and another advert for a Boxing News publication on Smoking Joe Freemason, yeah, Smoking Joe Freemason, there was this letter. In fact, it's a letter of the week. Yeah, so let's check it out, man. Yeah, there were 2 fights that shouldn't have occurred at the weekend, neither of which were under the control of any legitimate governing body. That didn't stop them getting attention on social media. And he talks about the Razor Ruddock and James Toney fight. And yeah, I mean, these guys were over 100. You know, and yeah, it shouldn't have happened, but blah, blah. I mean, be real, man. Be real, man. Yeah? The other bout, this is the interesting bit, was a white-collar affair that seemed to highlight to Tyan Booth that 10 days of training cannot wipe out several years of alcohol abuse. This guy's obviously a TFL fan. Has been watching a lot. And this is another stupid white-collar affair. It wasn't a white-collar affair. Yeah? It's an unlicensed pro fight. There's no head guards. There weren't 16-ounce gloves. There's no, what are they called, vests. I mean, I don't get this calling stuff white-collar just because it isn't under amateur or pro. You know, unlicensed. What are you going to call it? A Letty McLean vs. Roy Shaw fight. Is that a white-collar fight now? I mean, come on, man. It's a silly thing. White-collar started to match people who weren't boxers, who wanted to just try it out, to hit themselves with 16-ounce gloves and head guards. But, it's, you know, that's then. It's changed a lot. Now it's just either, if they have a head guard and gloves, it's basically unlicensed amateur. If they don't have a head guard and they're getting paid, it's unlicensed pro. Anyway, enough of that. We carry on. Yeah, 10 days of training could not wipe out years of alcohol abuse. I'm pretty sure Tyan knew that, you know, and he was forced into it anyway by Boxing King Media. Yo, I'm watching out the corner of my eye. I never usually watch, but it's a football match. And Macedonia, or North Macedonia, have just scored against England. Oh, dear. All the normies in the pub will be getting so upset. And why did they let that happen? Oh, normies make me sick. Anyway. No normies that can be changed are fine, but blue pill people make me sick. Anyway, the letter carries on. So, in the end, he walked out of the ring, clearly frustrated that he could barely land a glove on a fighter who would have been levels below Booth at his best. Well, I think he didn't hit him. He dropped him even, but you know, of course he couldn't let it. He fought this wild African guy, yeah? The wild African, as I've called him. I don't know what his name is, but he fought like a wild African, you know, with not much skill. But obviously, you know, he was fit, and that fitness wins fights, especially after years of alcohol abuse, according to this guy. Anyway, it carries on. Afterwards, Booth spoke of drinking too much and cut a sorry figure. Tyan, did you cut a sorry figure, bruv? I hope you can comment on this, man. It'd be funny. Yeah? I doubt this will have done anything to aid his mental health. Oh, his mental... There we go. There we go with a lovely agenda pushing. That's why this letter was chosen. It's got nothing to do to aid his mental health. Getting punched in the head doesn't generally. Yeah? He shouldn't have been anywhere near a boxing ring, even though he, like Ruddock and Toney, would have wanted to fight. This guy's such a mug, right? Yeah, it's no longer acceptable to let the boxers decide, however. Greater policing is required because when a tragedy occurs, it's the rest of the sport that we left to pick up the pieces, says Matthew Robinson. Well. Yeah. The mental health tip. Another politically correct obsession that's fueled by the agenda of the elite. Matthew Robinson. Matthew Bellend, more like. Yeah. What a bellend Matthew Robinson is, and what a rubbish letter. I bet he's proud. Oh, I'm letter of the week. Yeah. I hope you watch this channel, Matthew Robinson. Yeah, Matthew Robinson, you can come on the live anytime and explain yourself. You probably don't even exist. I doubt these letters are real anyway. It's just to push the agenda. Oh, we'll put a letter in that pushes the agenda. Yeah? And you notice that Notice that. The subtle pushing of the elite's agenda in a boxing magazine. Right? More government control and policing is needed. That's the key sentence. It is no longer acceptable to let boxers decide. Greater policing is required. So basically, Boxing News is a messenger through this letter, probably fake. And if it isn't, Matthew, comment on the channel and I'll put you on the live. Yeah? Yeah? But another, Boxing News are being a messenger via Kelsey Media for the agenda. Well, that's no surprise. Like all these magazines that are not independent, that are owned by media companies, all they do is push the agenda. They push the agenda. You know, a lot of these companies get funded. Yeah, check into it. In America, especially by guys like George Soros, they get funded by companies, shareholders and companies, to push an agenda, to push the agenda. If they don't, then they don't get the funding. Do you understand? That's how they control exactly what goes on in mainstream newspapers, TV, companies, advertising, media. But of course, normies don't know about that. All they care about is that Macedonia is leading 1-0 at half-time versus England or whatever. Mugs. Anyway, so yeah, I hope that Tyan read that letter, man. After years of alcohol abuse. It won't be good for his mental health. Sick of that, man. Sick of that canard, the mental health one. Yeah? And I'll tell you what, man, the pathetically paused Boxing News has become Harry Mullen, the last good editor of Boxing News must be spitting in his grave, right? I mean, he used to be independent, like I said, when he was running it. And he would say what he wanted. And he would criticise promoters. And sometimes they would ban him. But he was a man with some kind of honour. I don't know, man. His personal moral compass may have been a little bit different, though, because, like I said, he might be spinning in his grave, but it's better, possibly, than waking up the morning after a Brian Nielsen fight in Denmark, with a wallet missing and a balls shaven after being drugged and robbed by a brass. Yeah. I wonder how Harry managed to explain that to his missus, man. Especially the shaven haven. Anyone can explain a missed wallet, a stolen wallet, but a shaven haven? The robber nicked my wallet, but he said he wouldn't leave until he held me down and his mate shaved my nutsack. Good luck with that one. Good luck with that one, Harry.